67% of these Americans haven't been making student loan payments and avoiding a bleak financial future. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com, sponsored by Credible, and written by Nora Collimer, titled, "Most Student Loan Borrowers Will Struggle to Pay at Some Point Survey." The author of this article referenced a civic science survey which revealed that only 33% of student loan holders have been making regular payments since they started up again in October. About half are looking to use an income-driven repayment plan or are seeking outright forgiveness. Here are my thoughts. To me, it is frightening that only 33% of student loan holders have been making regular payments since they started up again in October. This means 67% of people are not making regular payments. If the results of this survey are representative of what is going on nationwide, this is not good news. In my opinion, the government should never have paused student loans for approximately 3.5 years. It was far too much time. I understand why they put these on pause during the pandemic initially, but the government injected trillions of dollars into the economy and handed out stimulus checks. A large number of people could have still made their student loan payments. The problem from my perspective is a lot of people grew too comfortable not having to worry about a monthly student loan payment for approximately 3.5 years. I have no doubt some went out and took on new debt because they could afford it, since they didn't have a student loan payment to worry about. Some probably thought their student loans were going to be forgiven because that is what was discussed prior to our current president being elected. Like I said earlier, it is frightening that only 33% of student loan holders have been making regular payments since they started back up in October. The 67% who are not making payments are lucky that Biden has an on-ramp program which prevents them from being charged late fees or being reported to credit reporting agencies. The on-ramp program will expire at the end of September this year. I have to wonder if some people are not making student loan payments right now because there are no penalties. Interest still accrues, but some people probably don't care because the amount they owe is so large, they figure what's a little more tacked onto that large amount. Well, it's game over starting in October this year. If people don't make their student loan payments, they will fall into delinquency and eventually default. They may be assessed late fees and will likely be reported to credit reporting agencies. It will be a while before we find out how many people nationwide will be in this type of situation. Sometime after the election, the news will break, and I don't think it is going to be good. Getting back to the article, the author said roughly 58% of student loan holders said they are at least somewhat or very concerned about paying their student loans, and more than 60% of borrowers said their student loan debt is impacting their ability to save for retirement. This concern pushes many borrowers to seek ways to suspend loan payment, even if it means interest will continue to build on the debt. Here are my thoughts. There are two things that concern me. First, it is concerning that more than 60% of borrowers said their student loan debt is impacting their ability to save for retirement. We already have a retirement crisis brewing here in America, and many people reaching retirement age right now never had the same level of student loan debt that younger generations have. Yet, these older generations consist of people who are in a financial mess at retirement age. However bad this is right now, I suspect it is going to be far worse for younger generations when they reach retirement age, unless they receive a big inheritance. I have to wonder if some of these younger people realize that a portion of your Social Security check can be garnished for unpaid student loans. If I were a younger person with student loan debt, I would stop dreaming about the government forgiving the debt. Instead, I would do whatever possible to live far beneath my means to free up cash so that I could get the debt paid off. I would honor my commitment to pay off the debt. I would also make contributions to a workplace retirement plan, at least up to the company match, because time is on your side when you are young when it comes to compound returns for investments. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't think like I do, and they won't do this. They will just go about their lives day to day and maintain their preferred lifestyle, even if that means going further into debt. Earlier, I said two things concern me about what the author said. I've already discussed the first. The second thing that concerns me is that many borrowers are seeking ways to suspend loan payments, even if that means the interest will continue to build on the debt. Here's why this bothers me. This reminds me of what our government is doing. Our government sets a terrible example for everyday Americans, especially young people. Citizens watch what the government is doing with their debt, and I'm sure some figure, why not follow suit? As long as we have a fiat currency, the government can continue to print and fund whatever they want to do. Many Americans don't realize they can't run their personal finances the same way that the government does because they don't have a printing press. At some point, your debt to credit ratio may become problematic. Debt can become unmanageable very quickly. When that happens, life gets real. Not everyone has wealthy parents or grandparents to bail them out. This can be a cruel world when you are on your own. I think people need to be careful with their spending, or they could find out just how cruel it really is. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on Yahoo Finance, put out by MoneyWise, and written by Lou Carlazzo, titled, Haunted by Economic Fear, NYU professor Scott Galloway has a warning for young people who don't live to work. The author of this article referenced a recent study by InvestNet, which found a precipitous decline in the feeling of financial security among affluent Americans from 72% in 2022 to 59% in 2023. Likewise, 62% expressed worry about their financial future in 2023, which is way up from 46% in 2022. Here are my thoughts. I find this to be interesting since the information is from affluent Americans. I'm sure it is far worse for the middle class or the working poor who have been crushed by inflation in recent years. Many affluent Americans have benefited from inflation as their assets have risen in value. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Scott Galloway as saying, everyone has an obligation to develop a plan, a flight plan, for getting some basic economic security by the time they're my age. Because what I do not want for anyone is to be insecure, upset, unhealthy because of economic insecurity. Well, my friends, it's easy to say this, and I think it's good advice, but many Americans have no idea how to get started developing a plan, and some will not seek out assistance from a qualified professional. Many people will just watch what their parents have done and follow suit. This is great for people who have parents who are successful and are financially secure. But this is terrible for people who have parents that are in debt and struggling to survive paycheck to paycheck. Some people will just continue living day to day and worry about tomorrow when it arrives. To me, this is a recipe for disaster. This is one reason we have a retirement crisis brewing here in America. Many people put off retirement until another day because it was more fun to plan a vacation or buy a new car. Not having a financial plan and seeing it through often has ramifications. We are starting to see this before our very eyes. Just watch the news and you hear about the homeless epidemic that is plaguing many cities. Or you hear about the housing affordability crisis. This is getting worse because rentals are incredibly expensive and buying a home now is out of reach for countless Americans because of our current interest rate environment. It's truly sad what is happening here in America, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon. I'm going to quote Scott Galloway one more time. He said, "If you start fairly young," and by the way, 45 is young, 45 means you're going to work another 30 years and probably live another 50. It's not too late, and with a little bit of discipline, a little bit of correct decision making and strategies, you can get there. Well, my friends, I like his optimism. Will that work out for everyone? Unfortunately, no, it won't, because life gets in the way. Life throws you curveballs all the time. But I think this line of thinking is better than living day to day and paycheck to paycheck without a financial plan. That is a recipe for disaster. That's how you could end up living in your car or on someone's sofa in old age because your Social Security check may not provide enough income to afford even the cheapest apartment in your area in the future. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.